up, folks? You're listening to the Bakotunes podcast with mattomunoz. Say hello to my little friend.
Special treats and beats for all. This is episode 50 of the one and only Bakotunes podcast, brought to you by Bakotopia.com. Since this is the Big 5-0, I got something big. Visiting Bakotunes is drummer Christopher Guanlao of Silversun Pickups from the land of the hipster, Silver Lake in Los Angeles, California. Now, this interview was recorded back in February, but since then, this band has seriously taken off. Their song Lazy Eye is all over the radio, and the video for the song is now in heavy rotation on both MTV and Fuse. If you're a fan of bands like the Pixies, My Bloody Valentine, or Smashing Pumpkins, you're sure to dig what Silversun Pickups got going on. On with the show. This is episode 50 of the Bakotunes podcast, brought to you by Bakotopia.com.
Well, how's it going? How's it going with the band right now?
Good. It's great. We're just right now we're just kind of getting ready to go on tour, tying up loose ends. You know, it's kind of funny because this tour that we're doing with Snow Patrol is about 2 months long, but it feels like we're going to be gone for the rest of the year. Honestly.
Are you in LA right now?
Yeah. We all live pretty close to each other, within like a couple of miles of each other. The Silver Lake area. That's where we cut our teeth.
What band members are missing from the interview?
Brian, Joe, and Nikki aren't here. It's just me, Christopher.
When did the band get together?
Brian and Nikki started the band. They used to be roommates, and they started the band in 2000. I came in about 2002. Joe came in about a year later. Right when Joe came in, it kind of felt like this was it, you know. We're all in different bands at one point, and I think that's how we know each other. That was like our main kind of link with each other, is that we became friends because of all these bands that we were in.
Tell me the story behind the name.
Silversun Pickups. We always joke around with this, and it's so obvious and boring. But so we would always make up these elaborate. At least Brian would. Brian would make up these elaborate stories on how we figured out this name. You know, a lot to do with being in the desert with peyote involved. The wind talking to us. Basically, Silversun Pickups there's a liquor store on the corner of Silver Lake Boulevard and Sunset Boulevard. It's called Silversun. We picked up stuff there. Okay.
Yeah, I just saw the video for Lazy Eye. When and where was it filmed?
It was filmed in a bar called Footsie's, which is not too far from Silver Lake. It's kind of tough because of the kids and everything.
How long does it take to film a video? I mean, it's like you guys are performing. There's a storyline going through it. I see some of the people kind of interacting with each other. Was that your first video you guys ever did?
It's actually our third video that we've done. How long it takes to make a video really depends on what kind of budget you have or what you're trying to accomplish in the video. With Lazy Eye, it took a day. That's about it.
Is it getting showed on MTV or MTV2 or anything like that?
We're getting a lot of play on MTV, surprisingly. My first response to that was, they play videos on MTV? It was actually a kind of a big deal that we're being played on MTV. It's kind of weird that it'll be, played in between like Beyonce and Justin Timberlake.
Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, Fall Out Boy.
Yeah. Well, going back to the single that's out right now, Lazy Eye, I mean, it's definitely catchy. I mean, I would think I was in the shower and I had it blasting on my computer, the indie, and I was like, I gotta, jumped out and wrote the song down. That song is a great introduction to the band. Now, in your opinion, does that song represent the rest of the band's repertoire?
To an extent, yeah. I think it represents us as almost what we were, and what we're kind of transforming into. Lazy Eye is one of the first songs that the Silversun Pickups ever played, and it's been through a lot of, metamorphosis since then. It used to be a lot slower. It used to be 20 minutes long. So I think in that sense, there's a place in our hearts for that song. But then the way it's been transformed, it's also where we're heading.
What are some of the band's influences? Tell me if I'm wrong, but I say the Pixies.
Yeah, definitely. We the influence question is always kind of like it's a tough one. Yeah, we're definitely influenced, and we love the Pixies and a lot of other things too. I don't know if we necessarily go out there to sound like them. But my God, yeah, it's like when we're talking about rock bands, how can you not think of the Pixies? My Bloody Valentine and Joy Division and all that stuff.
What kind of music were you into growing up?
Heavy metal, a little of the glam.
Who was your favorite band?
I was really into Quiet Riot.
Right on.
I was really into. Actually, that was like when you're a kid, how things just make sense. I was listening to Quiet Riot and Purple Rain and Grease, you know what I mean? Or something like that, where it's just kind of like, it doesn't really make sense, but for some reason it's what you like.
You're such a musician, though. I mean, that's a musician's playlist right there.
Yeah.
We talk about like, I wouldn't think they would listen to that, and they say, no, but really, Blizzard of Oz was a great album, but they're like a classical violin player or something like that.
Yeah, no, totally. That's the way it's the way it is. I mean, there's a lot of I'll defend ABBA till the day I die.
Oh, exactly, man.
But I think Tool's great also.
What's the story behind the name Carnivus in the CD? Was there a concept for it?
Carnivus, it's not necessarily a concept so much as just a kind of a tone to the whole record. Carnivus, it's actually Brian's mother's maiden name. We also named our first EP that we did Pikel, which was a tribute to a friend of ours, and so it kind of just felt right to name the record to also have it as like a tribute to somebody. Carnivus is really, at a first glance, that word, it's weird. It's almost close to carnivore, but then it's also kind of like, canvasy.
I'll tell you what I thought of. I thought of like, is this like a space age carnival? Kind of something like
totally.
that.
That's awesome. That's totally awesome, That's great that you even thought that. And that's exactly kind of what we envisioned it to be, something that just kind of stood out a bit and had the right tone, even if you didn't necessarily know what it meant specifically. Honestly, it was such a last-minute decision. We worked so hard on the record, on the recording of it, that when it came time to decide the title and the artwork, all of a sudden we just hit a wall. All of a sudden our creativity was just spent. It was a good 3 weeks where we could not agree on anything, and then finally it was like we were up on a deadline, and like finally it just kind of, like last minute, all four of us went over to Joe's house. We said we weren't leaving. We weren't leaving till we figured shit out. I think we probably got there around like, maybe early evening, and like around 2 o'clock in the morning, we finally got it. It kind of crept up on us.
No, but it's great. It flows off. Carnivus. It's easy to say. Carnivus.
Yeah. Carnivus.
Carnivus. You're playing the Coachella Music Fest on Friday, April 27th. How excited are you guys to be able to do that? Sold out. It's like the modern day Woodstock. Completely
psyched, stoked. We're so honored to be a part of it.
Had you ever attended before getting this gig?
Oh, yeah. I went to the first one. In fact, I went with Brian and Nikki to the first one before we even were a band. The reason why we haven't gone every year is because we couldn't afford it, really. But
who do you look most forward to seeing at Coachella, or meeting, performing with, or after?
Well, obviously Bjork. I want to see Bjork.
If you weren't playing music right now, what would you be doing?
I don't know, wishing I was playing music. I don't know.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
That's basically what, I've done so many jobs, it's ridiculous, that I'm glad I can do this stuff.
That you want to go to work.
I don't know. Yeah, I want to go to work.
Awesome. In flip-flops and shorts, if you want to, a thong, whatever.
Hey, this is Christopher Guanlao from the Silversun Pickups, and you're listening to Bakotunes podcast.
Here's a song by Silversun Pickups. This is Lazy Eye from their CD, Carnivus.
Impossible if